Hi you guys, it's Evelyn. I have a lot to tell you. I got a lot of downloads. I did a read yesterday and today, so I'm going to bring them both to you. So I'm going to get started. Everyone take a deep breath. Okay, sending lots of love and healing out to you guys. So today's the 4th, but we're going to start with the 3rd. I'm going to show you the pictures for yesterday and today's read, so you have them to begin with. All right, so yesterday, this is the main part of the read from the SIRIAN STARSEED deck. Get that clear for you. And then here is the complete read from yesterday. Here is the main read in front of you from today. Okay, and then the complete read from today. Okay. I don't think there's anything else I need to show you. Oh, that's so weird. I wasn't going to show this to you, but I had taken a picture of the hornet's nest that's on my house. And look at the reflection here. It's like a finger pointing up. How weird is that? Oh, that's so weird. There's some reflection. Well, that's weird. Okay. So you like how there's a sunshine on the cards right in front of you? I didn't want to move the cards because I love that the sun is there. It literally looks like the sun is in the middle of our read, and I didn't make it that way, just ended up that way today. So yesterday on September 3rd, which was the 3 of the Empress, and the day adding up to 16, which was a set, or was it? Because today is an 18. So yesterday, oh, it's the, am I at the wrong one? I guess I am. Yep, sorry. I need to get to the next day. We're starting at the 4th. All right, so yesterday was the 4th, the 4 of the Emperor, and the day added up to 17, the Star and the Emperor, which is all about shining your light and healing and dreams come true, and the Emperor of having control over your domain. And I went to the grocery store yesterday, and I passed 1028 on the way there and on the way back. And the street was Washington Lane, so presidents may be coming up here. And then, and this was in the afternoon on the 4th. So I cut the SIRIAN Starseed deck, the main deck for the read at 320, which is the Empress and the 20 of Judgment. And at 328, as I was clarifying and the cards were covering up the words, our seed came up. Our seed. And then at 333, at 333, the Page of Cups kept falling. I was trying to, the cards that are standing up here yesterday, the Page of Cups was on the end. It kept falling off away from the 10 of Pentacles. It was the 3 of Cups. I think, I can't remember if it was reversed or not, but I'll let you know as I'm doing the read. So that was the Page. The Page of Cups kept falling away from the 10 of Pentacles. And I finished clarifying at 345. 345 is the 3D, 45D, third eye, fourth eye in the crown, or the fifth eye. Also, ether was coming up yesterday too, or the fifth element. So the only major arcana in the read yesterday was the Starseed, and that's like the Fool in this deck, in the SIRIAN Starseed deck. We also had before the read the Solar Deity, the Sun, and the Strength card come up. That was it. We had 3 cups, 3 swords, 3 pentacles, and 1 wand. The court cards were just the Page of Cups, and after the read, the Page of Wands and Knight of Wands also came up. We also had in the read the 9 of Swords and the 9 of Pentacles, and before the read, the Knight of Pentacles came up. The code line and the numbers were all about spiritual career yesterday, and the numbers significant. We had double sixes, double nines, and double tens. 66 is the Queen of Pentacles, 99 is a lot of compassion and endings, 1010 is that very high vibration, so make sure to toggle up, meditate, ground. And then it was all about spiritual career, and the code line number was 13 from 6, 1, and 6, but it was coming up as 616 or 6 and 16. 6 is the Lovers and 16 is the Tower, and then 13, of course, is death and transformation, as I'm losing my voice. So it is time to speak up, apparently, and that was coming up again today, and the messages I got, boy, were they profound. The code line here was after death to the nth degree, perhaps 6 new moons, which would end up being February 11, 21, acing, sharing, and toggling up with Christ, or the total weight of the 9-inch nails, and that's referencing the nails in the cross, urgently going left. And then the acronym KIPPER came up, which can be negative spirits, but it also means kernel, thigh, tub, vat, vessel. Vessel was significant yesterday and today. Goblet, container, mule. Ass came up as well. To sleep, dog, bush, scrub, dirt, key. Key was very significant here. Deaf. And because. And what was this word? And tanker was coming up. The word tanker, which also means vessel. So vessel came up twice, which was very important, actually yesterday and today. So the antichristum, or before Christ, after death and before Christ, very interesting combination, to the nth degree of the Lovers at the new moon, ace, balance, equilibrium, sharing, tanker. So the tanker came up here, and I'm going to give you all the meanings there in a minute. Alternating currents or air conditioning, or AC/DC to the nth degree. Lovers, ace, sharing, as I sneeze. Lovers, ace, sharing, the 16 of crystals, or 16 candles. And then I was getting the Ankh that I showed you yesterday, of the Ankh of the feminine, the regular Ankh, and then the egg shape with the body and the 2 legs, the Y in the road upside down, and the twins' total weight of bearing the total weight of the cross, or the crucifixion of Jesus, and 9-inch nails. So that they were both coming up there, because the twins are literally playing out the template of Jesus and Mary Magdalene, and so they would carry the weight of that cross. And there's more information about the cross that comes up here too. So the day of crucifixion comes up as multiple dates, but April 3rd, 33, most historians have agreed on. Another one came up for 2828, which was, the website was called the End 2028. So tanker, I looked up the meaning for tanker to see specifically, because sometimes this brings more codes, is a vessel transporting liquid, like a truck, a car, a ship, something armored, or a longboard in surfing. But it also means tanke, T-A-N-K-E, which means thought, intent, idea, to fill up, to tank up, to give thanks or thank you. So going back and forth from being almost there to going back within, the Lovers, air to the left, acing, centering, sharing, teaching and learning, giving and receiving. The ship or vessel that carries the liquid or emotions or blood or water, longboard, the intention or giving and giving thanks to fill up with emotion, or in other words, you fill up my senses. So that's John Denver coming up. Come fill me again. So that was coming up. And then at 4:44, when I went online, the headings that came up were actinic keratosis, a scaly patch on the skin after years of sun, which older people usually get, can also become cancerous. So I don't know if someone's dealing with that. Someone out there might need that message to go see someone. And then a lot of dark energies were coming up, and these were very interesting. So listen carefully to these. The one header that came up was vesselfinder.com, where the ship, the Crystal Ace, and information about it came up, that its current position at North America West Coast, and the coordinates came up, reported 14 days ago by AIS, which is the Marine Traffic Service, en route to the port of Hiroshima to arrive at 8:25 at 15:01. All right, so this boat, the Crystal Ace, two different headers came up, two different websites. One was Vessel Finder that brought that up. And then the second header that came up was Marine Traffic about that same vessel now leaving Japan on 8/29/20 UTC. It said under Marine Traffic, the vessel is out of range. Japan, the coordinates at that time were 35 and some, and then 141 plus, were reported estimated arrival on September 9th, 9/9/2020 at 7:01. And I think that arrival time changed. And the destination was CANWE, which happens to be Canada, British. It's New Westminster, British Columbia, Canada. But I'm getting dark energy here because it came up along with another website that was called AminoApps.com, which was all about dark spells. So pagans and witches were coming up on that page, and obviously AminoApps.com would never lead you to believe that this is a page of pagans and witches who, for spell casting. So they were giving you all the crystals and how to cast spells, but they weren't talking about light magic. They were talking about, putting hexes and things like that on other people. So I want you to be aware of that site, and someone out there who may be an investigator may be interested in that as well. But this that website came up, and again, Marine Traffic and VesselFinder.com, nothing wrong with the sites, but they were both bringing up the Crystal Ace ship, which is, I believe, sailing under the Marshall Islands and going from Japan to New Westminster, British Columbia, Canada, and it's supposed to arrive there on September 9th around 7. So the reason why I was bringing up concern about this is, number one, it's coming up twice from two different sites in my headers that came up at 4:44, but also because in listening to some videos yesterday, the day before, they were talking about in the second wave coming through that a lot of people have been guided to leave certain places, like Paris came up and San Diego came up as starseeds who have left those areas. And some people may be meant to stay in those areas to be on the front lines, but they were guided to leave. And they also brought up California and New York, as well as Canada and Australia being the main targets right now. So here, after hearing that Canada may be a target, here we have a Japanese ship twice coming up in my headers called Crystal Ace going towards Canada. So if that resonates with anyone, please, let someone know if it's important, okay? So, and I was rubbing my nose the whole time too, that I was getting those headers. So going back to the code line, AC/DC to the nth degree, the Divine Feminine Collective Consciousness, or the Sophia 9, Ace sharing the tanker, or the Crystal Ace, so me relaying that information to you. And it comes up under AIS as just the auto-identifying system for the marine traffic. All right, so, and when that stuff came up, the Knights of Columbus came up the other day, I told you about, and there was something suspicious about the Knights of Columbus, Euclid, K-A-Y, and then C-E-E, and it felt like what was coming up, that was connecting the Knights of Columbus, the church, to this other I don't know if this was just one location of a church or if it was a social club associated. It was coming up as a charitable organization in the incorporation, but also with no mission statement and no website that came up under the church. So the church has the website, but nothing comes up when you open it. So that was suspicious, and perhaps connecting also with a school in Illinois that was called and I know I wrote it down again here today, but if I don't remember now, it'll come up later in the read. But the Knights, the CEE, the C Knights, or the Knights of C, and it wasn't a main university in Illinois. It was I know I wrote it down somewhere here. I think it actually came up again today. Well, it'll come up. I know I wrote it down again, so I'll let you know that place. But that came up, and I think there was something else that came up recently that was a little bit dark. Oh yeah, when I talked about VENETIANUS, the bacteria. Oh, here it is. VENETIANUS ACINETOBACTER. Okay, and again, VENETIANUS is just Venetian with US on the end. And then Venereus came up as a restaurant in Germany, so that came up again today. There's just these connections after having investigated some of the stuff I heard yesterday and the day before online from watching videos about just the the dark people and all that stuff. So it'll unfold as I bring up my information today. Okay. So where are we? All right. So this first read from yesterday starts with the Five of Cups reversed. Beneath it was the Knight of Pentacles reversed, Solar Deity reversed, and Strength card reversed, and Three of Pentacles upright. Recovering from grief, loss, regret, and the past, after the Knight of Pentacles reversed was stuck, or being a stubborn mule, or just being still, or not working, not open, or strike. Lazy or sick, drained, overexposed, burned, or weak, needing courage, or disloyal. Or needing courage for the Three of Pentacles, place of co-creation, or work, and the Hermit shedding light, on the Queen of Pentacles starting over to end boredom, apathy, mediocrity, the same old thing, the same old offers. Walking away and within from injustice of the Queen of Pentacles, happiness, despite having been burned, drained or crazy kids, overexposed or sunburned, low energy or sick, no longer bored. Home with Libra reversed, or injustice, divorcing, the Queen of Pentacles upright and the King of Swords upright, present to the Hanging Man, hanging out with new perspectives, or hung out to dry with difficult kids or a negative past or childhood, after death or near-death experience, or the never-ending story at 541, which is the Hierophant and the Ace of Cups, of the escape from prison or Alcatraz, and it's not time yet, or the wheel is not in your favor. The Knight of Pentacles reversed, out being seen, released from the Three of Pentacles workplace by the Emperor upright. So that doesn't have to be a workplace, any place of co-creation. It can be a church, a school, whatever. Some kind of funny business behind the scenes, or predator who works behind the scenes at a school perhaps, or a relative or friend released from prison and the Emperor put them to work. Getting to know each other, and beneath that was, it is safe for you to love. No more female top dog or conceited woman always looking in the mirror with big love at work. The Knight of Pentacles reversed is not offering friendship or loyalty to the Page of Wands reversed, frustrated child or Libra reversed, no more fantasy mirror on the ceiling of the Divine Feminine in the 5D world, or dysfunction of the world and social distancing, no reunion, no joy, or one kid coming to work with you and one not ready for that yet, only sex life in another world of fish flopping chakras and birds and Jesus and Thoth around the Divine Feminine and Divine Masculine trying to get the fruit of his labor, or some private time without getting caught or without being disturbed. Something about a mirrored tray keeps coming up, or a naked portrait that's been taken down off the wall, the Divine Masculine work in it. The only thing upright here is big love through work or place of co-creation. Parenting comes up, and beneath that was self-discipline, Parenting 63 of the Nine of Swords, and self-discipline 41, which is the Ace of Cups, but also 41 was coming up in the videos as the dark to the light of the 14. Traveling to peace, frustrated in the never-ending story, with player falling short, or the Knight of Wands reversed holding back their desires, with no movement at all, with social distancing, bad influences, or third-party situation, and the Six of Cups soulmate or twin, and an energetic exchange between you, the arrows of love, or sneaking out at night in blue, away from the inability to be aroused, to be excited, or conceive of never dying or a sleep connection. Trucks or trunks and tankers filled with liquid, water, oil, emotions, blood, adrenochrome, COvfefe, VENETIANUS, ACINETOBACTER, in pairs under magnification. Can you get COvfefe from these bacteria sites? So something that came up when I was guided to this bacteria, and it being Venetian US, Venetianus, right? But connected to the Venetians name. I'm wondering if this bacteria has a connection to COvfefe, right? The alloy they're going to use to block the 5G. So is this bacteria somewhere where they can find that alloy, or maybe the cobalt, or any other the ingredients like iron? And iron was important today. I actually started taking iron when that download came up, and boy, am I overstimulated, and I probably really needed it. So I'm wondering if that's related to the Venetians and the Phoenicians. So if you know anything, please comment below. Also, the bacteria being investigated for bioremediation to treat contaminated media, water, soil. So again, it sounds like it's being used to treat, just like 5G would, just like the alloy would be used, the COvfefe alloy being used to treat the 5G. This bacteria being investigated, still like under investigation, like it's not, it's not an old thing, it's pretty new, for bioremediation to treat contaminated media, water, and soil, similar to the approach to treat wastes, industrial and solids. And I gave you some of the sites that they were taking samples from, and they were all in the countries that, well, it doesn't really matter because the 1%ers are everywhere in all the countries, but comes up as though maybe they are, hoarding those sites to get this alloy, because it's can be so protective. So if you know anything about that, because that's not my line either. So, and also when I looked up chalices the other day, that when the church came up requiring the chalice to not absorb anything, because absorption was coming up in regard to this bacteria. So it was kind of interesting there. So there's a connection between all this stuff. So back to the read, where love is offered from the other side in vain, as the emotions cling to the glass ceiling, the veil. Cat watchers or cat watching from behind the long grass by the flowers where kids play, with Frog and Bunny and Eden or Avalon, or where the sheep are, hey, in the field. Where lost partiers are Texas Highway. So the Texas Highway where a lot of people were killed came up. So I looked up Texas real quick, and from the New York Post, Texas weather reporter Kelly Plaster found dead. So again, I just told you the day before yesterday that all the journalists that were missing, Texas weather reporter Kelly Plaster found dead after confessing her sins in a devastating final media post. A teacher groomed her for a relationship in high school, per what she said, and she said, "My brain is broken and I can't take it anymore." And then apparently she committed suicide, but I don't think the official report of how she died was out yet. Another Texas from New York Post came up, Texas researcher murdered on their daily jog on August 5th, 20. This was a cancer researcher, a mother of two, who emigrated from India to Texas. Sarmistha Sen, S-E-N, 43 at 7 a.m. Another header from the New York Daily News came up, August 26, 20. The body of A sergeant, Elder Fernandez, found 30 miles from Fort Hood. I don't know if it's 30 miles or 30 meters. I only put the M down. But another header came up, East Texas. The website was East Texas Matters. A dead body found near roadway east of Big Sandy, and the name Sandy came up the other day in my read. So this was significant. A dead body found near the roadway east of Big Sandy in East Texas, from easttexasmatters.com. On August 24, 20, Upshur County, near Route 80, Ronald Beauford Maxey, age 69, from Henderson, Texas, was found with a gunshot wound. And then the killing fields that I told you about before, which is why I was guided to this, the Texas killing fields, that came up, I don't know, last year sometime, borders the Calder oil field about a mile from I-45. Since the 70s, about 30 bodies have been found there. And that's from en.wikipedia.org. So back to the read at 7:07, 7 being the chariot times 2. The Scorpio reversed, Leo reversed, Libra reversed, Virgo upright, Aries upright, Pisces reversed. The underlying energies here. And the Eight of Wands in energetic exchange back and forth to get over the loss, regret, the shame, and the past. In a downturn or slowdown, and the Emperor upright without reunion and parenting, suffering in silence, or dealing with a sister. The recent past is the Nine of Swords, and the King of Pentacles reversed, out in the cold, left behind, coming clean, getting clean, cleaning up the act, the space, and the Knight of Cups reversed, perhaps jealous or moody or insincere or feeling rejected or weak, or Leo reversed, receiving a big love from the Six of Cups reversed, and the Queen of Wands upright, looking the other way. The Queen of Wands resting, praying, meditating, or laying it to rest, on break, walking away from a negative past or a childhood or difficult kids, offering love to the King of Pentacles reversed, sending them away, and the Messenger of Truth rushing in with the truth to force the King of Pentacles reversed to get over themselves. Perhaps the Knight of Swords upright and the Knight of Cups reversed and the Queen of Wands, Leo, are waiting. She's waiting for the kids or dropping them off. The foundation is the Ten of Swords upright, pain, betrayal, with the truth presented to the Four of Wands, with wounded warrior reversed in surrender. So that can be to a home or a union where someone's surrendered, or arrested at home or at a big celebration. Ten of Cups reversed, very unhappy with this, or an ending to an emotional cycle of unhappiness called out, announced, final judgment or wake-up call, or the Red Cross rescue from underground tunnels or graves. Central energy is the Ace of Pentacles reversed, withholding in the state of emergency, in breakdown, up, through, or in, or ambulance, chaos, broken, blocked from third party, or by social distancing or negative influences. The Page of Wands reversed, frustrated and seeing synchronicities, or Cancer without joy and uninspired. Options they can't see, or just for the King of Swords, Magician, with the Empress moving to calmer waters or shipping kids away, perhaps camp or vacation. So you saw my voice was going there. There's definitely either stuff isn't coming out that needs to come out, or people aren't actually telling the truth. But there could be a lot of back and forth between parents as well. Someone happy, here goes my voice again, someone's happy to be alone. So maybe they're not happy to be alone, but they are happy to have quiet. The challenge being the Six of Pentacles upright, the Knight of Wands upright, passionately rushing in, after or while resting or on break, excited to get some, but blocked by withholding time, money, and effort. The Divine Masculine challenged to share with them. No option here but to reject. Or the Page of Cups reversed, vulnerable, shy, or spoiled and entitled, and the Page of Swords stepping up to take a swing, or spread the word, or implement a plan, and the Knight of Swords rushing in as the messenger of truth, impatient, no longer patient, and over their grief or self at 7:28, which is the Chariot, and the Two of Wands, or twin flames. Clearly not accepting advances, detoxing chaos, to surprise impatient angel, or shocked to find they're losing their patience, with the Page of Wands reversed and the Nine of Pentacles reversed, which can be difficult kids, or perhaps young workers who are then sent away. Knight of Pentacles reversed, to the King of Pentacles reversed and the King of Wands reversed, hiding behind Leo reversed. Or is the Leo reversed and hiding behind new information or clarity? Or the Page of Swords who loves to talk? Or the King of Pentacles reversed and the King of Wands reversed are out in the cold with the Knight of Pentacles reversed and the Page of Swords upright, or that's their own inner children and they're stuck with each other, perhaps brothers. Now the Page of Cups reversed could be a miscarriage or teen who hid an abortion, or a child feeling rejected by the King of Cups reversed, suffering in silence, stressed, not sleeping, purging, or crying. And a Leo reversed, or out of control or in ego death, between the King of Cups reversed, the Queen of Cups reversed, and the Page of Cups reversed, all moving in 3 different directions, or just moving, or ending a marriage, or visiting. And there's a lot of back and forth with the King of Wands reversed, Leo, in ego death, or weak from clarity of new information. The Page of Cups reversed may be sick, drained, burned, or sick and tired of surprises and chaos and impatience, or no patience, or withholding in marriage, or withholding from a Taurus, religion, or institution. The King of Wands reversed is without affection, and Sagittarius or Leo, or with Page of Wands reversed, which can be the Leo or the Sagittarius, throwing a fit or jealous rage at night in argument with 10 of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community, or their dysfunction or loss of money. And the Sovereign reversed is healing depression or loss of hope or even arrogance. Leo reversed, Taurus upright, Cancer upright here, Capricorn reversed, Sag reversed, Aquarius reversed here. The Sovereign reversed and the Knight of Pentacles reversed may be left out in the cold at night with Aquarius reversed, or their depression at night with Sagittarius female, drinker with attitude, or Aquarius reversed and Sag reversed left alone at night together, and they don't really want to be with each other. Perhaps Pisces reversed and Aquarius reversed, and Sag reversed with Capricorn upright, or King of Pentacles reversed and King of Wands reversed, keeping the Knight of Pentacles and the Page of Swords upright apart, because they may be kids who are not getting along. Soon as the Two of Swords reversed, feeling numb or no longer floating on air, the Knight of Wands upright rushing back on 2 different timelines, or the Knight of Wands twins converge at the Page of Cups reversed, crying, beck and call, or passing, or dreaming of the Two of Wands running wild together. The 2 Knight of Wands, there's like 2 Knights of Wands. It could be 2 Knights of Wands dreaming of running wild together in the 5D, in the sleep or dream, and one is rejected or on a quest, working hard under the radar to settle out, with Aquarius reversed, healing the Queen of Swords reversed, or healing the Queen of Swords depression. The masculine sees himself as the 6 of Cups reversed, with a negative past, childhood or difficult kids, frustrated and not aroused by chaos, detox of the Capricorn reversed, on guard at present, or guarding his time alone to think. Done aligning or done their work, or not working, or being on guard isn't working for him, with the Page of Pentacles child, student or opportunity or invite, to dependent, powerless, or addicted to spending and standing up for self, or you to kids about them not working or about you not working at 757, which is the Chariot and the 3 of Swords. And that could be, after today's read, that definitely could be arguing about a car as well. Playfulness comes up, past life relationships worth waiting for, but even more so here is true love. This is a romance of a lifetime. And around him, or how he is seen, standing up to hold on to the Queen of Cups reversed and the 10 of Wands upright, the Queen of Cups reversed ending pain and betrayal, or the 10 of Wands upright burdened by discomfort at a distance from soulmate and time not on their side, with divine lovers in the 5D world reversed, climbing from the dungeon into the light with flame. The block for the masculine is the 9 of Pentacles reversed, the powerlessness or giving up. Or they're giving up their singlehood. The Fool free from the Queen of Swords is depression, and spiritual career came up, but even more so for the masculine here was karmic completion and synchronicities. The Knight of Cups reversed, no longer trying to wake them up. Starseed is free to leap, to receive a big download in the never-ending epiphanies and surprises. Sudden events or tired of drama, or in near-death experience, or just dead tired, their crown blue wide open. The impatient Sagittarius at night, or fiery female with an attitude. The Knight of Pentacles reversed, the King of Pentacles reversed, and the King of Wands reversed. And the Page of Swords upright with a message or epiphany. Scorpio reversed, Scorpio upright, Cancer upright, Sagittarius reversed, and Page of Wands reversed, removing the mask and the secret out healing and forgiving, being hung out to dry to see new perspectives. Pisces reversed, Capricorn reversed, and Aries upright here. And Page of Wands reversed, walking away and within, to the Knight of Wands upright, taking the steps to perform at the top, to entertain, to make people happy. The Knight of Wands in a slow burn, jogging on steps up and down, or the rocky steps, to psych himself up. The Five of Cups reversed, done and over with ego, or Leo at work, and ending pain, painful end, death, or back pain and associated treatments, with the past returning, or difficult kids, burdened by the climb, the suffering in silence, or sister, withholding, and challenged by sharing and staying in balance. Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down, especially the 15 minutes before 12. Powerless, or with dependent or loss of independence. The Page of Cups reversed, receiving a big download to their crown, their lotus, their flower blossomed, with the Page of Wands reversed, walking away and within, to the Knight of Wands, or to grow up into a young man, taking the steps they need to take to make it right, or to get to heaven on earth. Getting over grief about or after work, suffering in silence, ending pain, withholding time, money, and effort from the Page of Cups reversed, who may feel rejected or was, and challenged by balance and sharing. Perhaps difficult kids or the past returns with a vengeance, with their crown blown wide open, knocking kids or inner children for a loop. Climbing up from the cave, powerless at first sight, receiving a download of Jungle Land to remove the mask and walk. Now the Knight of Wands on stairway to heaven as opposed to highway to hell, by taking the steps guided to take, ascending at an accelerated pace. The truth presented to break up and show them their options. Receiving love from the Ten of Pentacles reversed and the Page of Cups reversed, or child from dysfunctional family wants to make up to lover without affection. Like either lovers without affection or wants to make up, but no affection at the moment. The truth of the divine feminine, seeing synchronicities and receiving love from the Page of Cups reversed, vulnerable, shy, from the Ten of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community, dysfunction, or losing money, or made a big purchase, or willing to pay to prove their love. And again, today's read definitely comes up, there may be a child getting a car, so someone might be buying their love back, which hopefully that's not the case. So after I did this read yesterday, sorry, I forgot to focus that again. After I did this read, I was guided to the millenniumreport.com, and you can definitely check that out, but it's about the Khazarian Mafia. And that was from with Jen and Liam, Cosmic Gypsy. They were interviewing with Sasha, so you might want to check that out. But after hearing about Khazarian, I was just looking up Khazarian, and the millenniumreport.com came up, and it literally chronicles the Khazarian Mafia from 100 after death. All right, the evil society. So I'm not going to go through it all because it's a lot, but definitely check it out. Okay, it's Khazarian, the Mafia, and how they have controlled from 100 years after death through the present day, and how they keep changing their name and their position so that they can infiltrate every society and every function of society. It started out, just to give you an idea, it starts out with the 100 to 800 AD, the evil king with ancient Babylonian black arts, occult holographs. They were known at the time back then as the thieves and murderers, bandits, and would then assume the ideas of those who they killed. So they're master disguisers and manipulators. Actually, Russian at the time delivered an ultimatum to choose one faith or belief, Christianity, Judaism, or I think Islam it was, and they chose Judaism, but kept practicing their secret Satanism, which included child sacrifice, drinking blood, and eating their hearts, which was Baal worship, B-A-A-L, Baal worship. Worshipping the owl is also what they're called, like an owl. So it became a hybrid of Babylonian Talmudism and Masters of Disguise. Anyway, it goes on and on. They invade England and then take over the crown. So they own the Bank of England, basically, in London. They were the ones who infiltrated. They actually like starting the war. They actually support both sides of the war to get the war started and to help the war out, because it helps them to make money. It's all about them being able to finance their, their evil deeds. And this is, goes into, this was very interesting. They infiltrated Germany with the group the Bowers to represent them and carry on Baal-powered system of evil. The Bowers of the Red Shield represented their sacrifices, so they changed their name to Rothschild then, aka the Child of the Rock, or Satan. Okay? So Bauer Rothschild, they had 5 sons who took over the Euro banking system in the city of London Central, with false reports of Napoleon winning against the British, who lost, and used to steal wealth from the English nobility. And it goes on and on and on like this. So, and they end up talking about Bibi as well at the end, saying that I can't confirm that all of this is true. I'm sure there is this timeline, but I don't want to read everything, because I don't support or deny anything that's in here, but you can certainly read it and see for yourself. It's very interesting, because I did write a lot of it down to see what else was coming up for me. And I watched the movie Freaks last night, which was about people who had to wake up to their superheroes. It starts out with one little girl in hiding, and someone comes to say, "Don't worry, I'm here for you now," because something just blew up or whatever happened. So this little girl grows up on, seeing a psychiatrist and taking pills all the time. And then when someone approaches her that she's one of them and she comes into her powers, it's just about the lesson of, do you really want to come into your powers? Can you handle them? Because your powers may take you away from your family, right? Because they may not be able to understand or live with that. Or can you live without being true to yourself? It was very good for this. Do you live authentic to yourself no matter what, even if it means losing your family? So you might want to watch that if you want to understand what I'm talking about. So that was Freaks that I watched last night. So I'm going to pull an energy card before I get into the next read from today. And today is the 5th, which is the Hierophant, which is all about institutions, commitment, the old way of doing things, societal norms, religion, God, connection to self. And the day adds up to 18 today, which is the moon. So we have the Hierophant and the moon. So the dark side of the moon, the dark side of the Hierophant, which can be, the negative patriarchal fall. So let's see what comes up from this first read. What is our takeaway from this first read? All right, we have 2 cards. We have the Guard and the Gate, 30, which is the 4 of Wands. Again, the person who's afraid to go outside, the 2 butterflies trying to coax them out. And then we have Victory of the 28, which is the choice of path of the 2 of Wands. It's also the twin flames. So the victory of overcoming anxiety, of awakening, and allowing yourselves to be free, represented by the butterflies. And the bottom of the deck is the man holding a heart. Okay, and 45 is the 5 of Cups, the grieving card. So getting over themselves, okay? Getting over their grief. All right, so then there's definitely victory in overcoming your fears here, overcoming your heartbreak, overcoming your fears. And so we go into the second read that was today. Let's see, a lot of stuff came up today. Also, my son and I both noticed headaches, and he mentioned after doing something that he always finally feels better after a certain amount of days, but he was also bringing up getting a headache on Saturdays. And I said, well, maybe you're clearing a wound from the Jewish background. So that might be coming up for some. So if anyone has experienced that on a Saturday or some kind of reaction on Saturdays, it may be a wounding of the Jewish Sabbath. So The wolf came up again too, and I think it was Magenta who just referenced Trump as the wolf energy, and the wolf came up again when I was looking at my stuff today, and also the city of Sofia. Is it Bulgaria? I can't remember, but the city of Sofia came up again as the triangle of religious tolerance, right? Because Sofia has a triangle with all the different churches and temples, synagogue. There's at least 3 of them there. So today, this was interesting. At 10:38, 38 is the Queen of Cups, 10 is the Wheel of Fortune, my lights went off, my power went off. Only for about 10-20 seconds, but it was at 10:38, the Queen of Cups. And when I wrote it down, I went to write power went off, but I wrote power when off. It's like power down. Like your power comes in when you're off. 10 seconds and on again, reset, which is, they always tell you to wait 10 seconds when you have to repower something up. So there's something about that. If something comes up for you about that, let me know. The SIRIAN Starseed deck was cut and dealt at 10:38, right at that point when the power went out. Now I'm getting the lights went out in Georgia. And the times 10:42, 46, and then 50 all came up. 42 is significant. I don't know why. It was just coming up after I'd already cut and dealt. So 42 is the 2 of Cups, 46 the 6 of Cups, and then 50 is the 10 of Cups. And then at 10:52, when I was finishing up, at the end of this read, the Queen of Swords comes out 3 times, all at the end down there. 3 of Swords is there. And the time is 10:52, and 52 is the Queen of Swords. So Queen of Swords is very significant here. And the quote that was coming up was GE of Orbs. All right, so it's the energy of your thoughts and words, but also orbs is the blind man or the orphan, right? The energy of the blind. So, and the Queen of Swords reversed times 3, all at the end. And this is significant because the word the end is significant in this read. All right, so we started at 11:04 where we finished doing the clarifications. 11 is Justice, 4 is the Emperor. We had major arcana of the Wheel and Indigo. The Great Wheel was upright today in the read, and Indigo was also upright, which is the Magician. Before the read, Strength and Shadow came up, which were both reversed. And we had 2 Wands, 4 Swords, so mostly swords today. 2 cups, and 1 Pentacle. So we had a lot of swords, which has to do with those orbs and thoughts or words, or the blindness, and now you see. Excuse me. The court cards here, the King of Cups and the Page of Cups, and the Queen of Swords in the main part of the read. And before the read, the Page of Pentacles came up, along with the nine of Wands or the Wounded Warrior, and also the 9 of Swords came up in the read. So it's referencing the masculine and the feminine as the 9 of Wands, and the 9 of Swords. It can reference someone around the masculine as well. And the numbers and code line were all about adventure. And we had double 6s and double 9s. And 69 is that Ace of Pentacles, that new life of perfect contentment. Only the Ace of Pentacles, I believe, was reversed in this read. The numbers were 9, 10, begin again, and also 4, 5, 6, so the 4D, 5D, 60, but also that references the 4D bridge, because 1, 2, 3 is the 3D, 4, 5, 6, the 4D, and 7, 8, 9, the 5D. So that sequence of numbers was coming up. The code line was all about the number 1 from 46, which is the Children in the Garden, the 6 of Cups. And 66 again is the Queen of Pentacles. 99 is having a lot of compassion for others and yourself, and it has to do with endings and clearing things out. It's actually just preparing for the change, right? Because there's no real end. And the code line being about adventure, the message was the sea again. See, 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 see. So see with your eyes, see with the ocean. See is the Christ energy, the Christ consciousness. SIC as in if or yes, saying yes. CE as in the European Seal of Approval, and the CEE, which was coming up as civil engineering, which are the ones who do, the groundskeeping. They dig the tunnels and make the bridges, and that was coming up as very significant with the Knights of Columbus connection there. The 4 or the Emperor and the 6 of Swords or which is the finding of peace, but the lovers of blindness and orphans, or the Page of Cups may be coming up there, and the moral man of the high vibration adventure or destiny. Also, I was getting to reference back the restaurant that came up with, it's called VENETIANUS came up. It was a German restaurant where they held up signs saying URLAUB, which has to do with being on vacation, come to our restaurant. But for some reason that was coming up again. So seafood restaurant in Europe, that one I saw was in Germany. I think it was Germany, but you can look it up. And then I was getting the 46 of the blind or the orphan or the moral man and their destiny. So September 1st, from the Exodus that I had noted, a lot of my old notes were coming back for me to look at. Spirit was guiding me to them. So on September 1st, I was writing some information from Exodus about Moses and the burning bush and the rod of miracles, but I was seeing minerals, the rod of minerals. And remember, the rod was coming up as Bacter, which is small staff. Bacter means small staff or rod was literally the definition. So in talking about the bacteria that I talked about earlier today, it's the small staff or rod of minerals or miracles, able to bring water or wisdom, sophionic wisdom, out of the stone or rock, right? To get blood from a stone, which then again we talked about the dam, right? They used to remove all the water with a dam and then crack the dam open to let the water back in after they buried the riches and they're dead. So that's where the blood, getting blood out of a stone. And parting the blood or the Red Sea. So here along this line, I was getting the second meaning for everything. Like the rod is the small staff, the wisdom is Sophia, the stone is the rock, parting the Red Sea was the blood, and then they were equating rod with red, and planted in the hills of Moab near New Jerusalem. So again, this is reviewing my old notes. And the lightning rod from Bibliothèque Pleiades, which I've referenced a couple times now, .net. So Adam was buried in Golgotha, which means the skull. So I went over my notes to really understand this stuff. So buried on the skull, Adam here, and the Ankh equaling the rod equals light equals the key of life. For the stargates, the change of dimension, the leveling the mountains, the healing, and the controlling natural phenomenon. That's what you can do with the Ankh. But the Ankh is coming up as equal to the rod, which equals the light, which equals the key of life, which all are coming up as equal to the divine feminine. So literally the divine feminine or the Ankh is the key, right? And I drew you that little picture of the Ankh as the feminine. And the key of life from the branch of the tree of life from Eden. And Eden means Avalon or the apple land. The torus or the toroidal field, which is also referring the crystalline energy or the crystals. And yesterday, Laura Eisenhower talked about the fifth element ether and the aquamarine color of the mother light coming up in the tree of life yesterday. So you can check that out if you want. But the union of the royal house of David was coming up from my notes, and the royal daughter Benjaminites, or of the original 12 tribes. So again, this is referencing Jesus and Mary Magdalene. And so now we're talking about the key of life and being the divine feminine energy. Again, the divine feminine doesn't mean a woman. It means the feminine within the masculine or the feminine. And the union of the royal house of David and the royal daughter of the Benjaminites. So the Jesus royal house of David and the Mary Magdalene royal daughter of the original 12 tribes. Jesus' wealthy uncle catching those precious drops of Jesus' royal blue blood, presuming that he's the Holy Grail, that his blood is the Holy Grail, or the rod. And what was the rod exactly? So here we had the rod as the divine feminine, the staff, a small staff. And then Adam died on, quote unquote, the skull, or Golgotha. And Seth had gotten a branch from Appleland, which was Eden, as a plant, right? He planted it, but as a plant, like he planted the seed, right? It's not literal, right? We're supposed to understand this. So Seth getting the branch from Appleland was a plant, They grew into the Christ's cross to bear. So again, referencing the dark energies that I was just describing to you. After the flood buried the hatchet, where Johnny Appleseed then comes up, and the skull or Adam under Mount Calvary, where Jesus was crucified. So they talk about the cross being placed right over where Adam was buried, or Adam's skull. So Seth handed the Ankh down to Abraham, who handed the Ankh down to Joseph and to Egypt, where then Moses found it and planted the rod near Jerusalem. David found it, and then Solomon installed it in the Temple of Solomon. But what was it actually that they installed into the Temple of Solomon? And what they brought up here was Thoth and Ra. There was a picture of Isis with Ra breathing life into her nose and then her feeding Horus at breast. And Ra had the Ankh. But Thoth was there too. Ra was in front of her and Thoth was behind her. And remember, Ra is the right atrium as well. So right in front and Thoth behind, and also Thoth comes up as Metatron. Okay? And Metatron's in charge of the seeing over the masculines right now from the downloads that I get. And then in Genesis, Yahweh and Elohim, or Shining One, and also the Carthages called their new town the Shining One, by the way. Yahweh and Elohim are the Shining One, reminding that in Genesis, Adam made of clay, they just Ra blew up his nostril, like in the picture of Isis, and then Pinocchio became a real live boy. The Akhenaton, the Baal king, the bad king, with Aton, or disc. All right, and Magenta Pixie was just saying how, in her, I think it was her last post, that the feminine is the disc to the masculine sphere. So all of this came right into play with all of my information here. It really tied it together. So Aton is also known as Aton is known as Atun or Atone, and it is the disc. Receive the key of life from Aton, which equals disc, which equals the divine feminine. She's also, as we just found out, the ass of Athon, A-T-H-O-N, which confirms the Aton, A-T-O-N, because the masculine is the hammer, or the H-Amor. And then as the ass Athon, I wrote down the Ankh again of the divine feminine, and remembering that the third eye is the shape of a pine cone, so that can reference the cone. The head on the Ankh is the head, the third eye, the petal, and the nadis, or the energy lines. The egg beaters and stone breaking of the dam were coming up again, and the scarecrow, right? This is a cover so that people won't know what you're doing, which is referencing those dark energies. And then I was getting, after the seven dwarfs came up, Whistle While You Work, I was getting woo woo, and then I was getting like the Peter Frampton song where they're not singing, but it's like the instrumental saying like, right, woo woo, right. So there's some of that coming up. I don't know why Peter Frampton was coming up, but I think there's another song where the woo woo comes up, but it's instrumental. It's not a voice. And it's also referencing cat watching, like men, you know, saying woo woo or whistling at girls, right? So Whistle While You Work was coming up from the seven dwarfs as the moral man, right? And then the male, so to the Athon of the female, the divine feminine, the male ass is the H-Amor. And the apple of my eye was coming up as the divine feminine, which comes up again. So the apple comes up as a definition, the eye, the stone, the circular, and stilling the waves, right? So when you're doing meditation, stilling the waves or the emotions. The divine feminine is the wisdom of Sophia, the diamond light, right? The two Y's in the road coming together. I'm just getting cataclysm, but it has to do with the merging of the diamond light at the crown. And then I was getting the LSD of Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, and the trip at the Y in the road, right? Trip is a reset at the Y in the road. The three energy lines, the two coming up the spine and the one from the crown, in the sinus rhythm, the music of the wave, the pendulum, the tick-tock, the queen's wave in the shape of a C. That all came up already in my notes, but it's bringing it all together here. So when the two cones of the cyclones meet, they collapse into 0 point, the diamond light, like veins collapsing when you have varicose veins. So the blue apple came up again as the vein valve, the royal grapevine, the lineage of the royal grapes. The blue apple like the vein in the valve, the third eye chakra and the pineal cone, the blue torus or the toroidal field. The T wave on the heartbeat, on an EKG, the T wave and repolarization, which sets the pace. The T wave is the divine feminine, right, with the Ankh. And coming up also as the saint or the path, the journey, like she paves the way. From P and PR and turning right at the Y in the road, or the masculine, equals Q. Oh, that's so weird. I didn't mean that, but here it's equals Q. And so Q comes up here, which is referencing the human embodiment of Source with that hand extended out to the next. From the pin and the PR, which can be pressed, the pin, I describe my pin on the masculine and feminine, getting the light from the sun. It comes into the feminine, goes through to the masculine, and when he uses up all his energy, then the pin opens again. So there's a vacuum there until he uses up all his energy, and then the pin falls open, and then that's time for the feminine to collect sun and energy again. So the pin plus the press about it, and turning right at the Y in the road, or the masculine's right, when he's stuck at the Y in the road, that equals Q, which is really masculine, right? So then the vein to heart came up. I put in vein to heart online, and what came up was the vena amoris, which is the Latin meaning for vein of love, right? The fourth finger, the ring finger. The fourth finger of the left hand to heart, and that was from wikipedia.org. And the coronary, from dummies.com, the coronary sinus, which is the main vein of the heart, runs along the backside of the heart. So the backside might have something to do here, the butt. The IVC comes up to the right atrium, which is the Ra. And the SA, or the sinoatrial node, is at the top of the Ra. Okay? So that's the sinus rhythm. The regulator is it's like Ra is the masculine and Sa is the Sophia feminine. Because Sa is the regulator, the feminine. She sets the pace. And the Ra is the masculine, is the atrium, which contracts, okay, from her setting the pace. So the other valves of the heart were coming up as well as the in the RA is the tricuspid. And it's TV, so it's television, which is like advertising, and which was just coming up in reference to what was that? Well, anyway, so just all this stuff about the heart was coming up, and how the right atrium then goes to the left ventricle, and then into the lungs, and then into the left side of the heart, which is the arterial system, right? So the first part of the heart is the venous system coming in, and the second part of the heart is the atrial system going out. And so again, I love the Ra and the SA being the Sophia energy, the masculine and the feminine in the heart. And then coming from the ring finger up the arm, you go from the basilic to the axillary to the subclavian, and then the innominate or brachiocephalic vein, which then goes to the SVC, which is the IVC that comes in from the top into the heart. So back to the blue apple, which means the royal grapevine, the sinus node, the place of sin, and the queen's wave, showing you the sin, the sign. The sin was actually the location of the 40 days and 40 nights, the desert. It was called sin. And here we have the relationship of the sine wave and the sinus node and the sin of the royal grapevine, the royal lineage of the dark, the blue apple, because the apple's not blue. The grape is blue, the apple is red, the red coats. It's all undercover here. So from Wiktionary, I look up the node, and node literally means knot, or knob, or swelling. And the varicose vein, it collapses because it twists and gets overused when you're on your legs all the time. But the node was also coming up with the symbols of the node, north and south, which come up like headphones, being on or off. Are you covering up your ears, or are you taking your headphones off to hear? And that came up in the movie last night where they took the kids' headphones off. And she had them on so she wouldn't hear all the destruction going on around her. So where the orbit of the planet from the view of the sun intersects the ecliptic, which references eclipses, the intersection of the celestial sphere with the plane or the disk, and then magenta reference, again, the feminine is the disk, the masculine is the sphere, of the ecliptic, the geometric disk or plane, with the mean orbit of the earth around the sun, or the great circle drawn on terrestrial globe used for illustration and solving astronomical problems. So the node is where the sphere's orbit of planets eclipses or meets the plane or disk of the earth. So it's literally, when you look at the atom and the electrons, or the sun and the solar system with the planets rotating around it, the sphere of rotation around the sun is the disk, the feminine energy, and all of the spheres, like the sun and the planets, are the masculine energy. Okay? So the node is where the sphere orbit of planets eclipses the plane or disk of the earth. The disk of the divine feminine, the sphere of the divine masculine, and again, Avalon equals, according to the Celts, Avalon equals Eve's paradise, or Apple Land. Okay? So the royal lineage of the queen and sin, or sine wave, her special wave of the letter C, right? And Sin City. And Sin City was coming up, and it's not only Las Vegas, but there's also a Sin City in Arizona. And I'm sure it's many other places too, but those were the things coming up for me. So Sin City is the 40 days and 40 nights. And the Queen of England, the royal lineage of the Queen. And again, that if you go into the website I told you about, you'll see how the dark energies infiltrated the kingdom and basically owns all of that. They own the bank in London. They own, they made many, many kings fight each other to kill them all off so that they could infiltrate into those places. And then I looked up, again, the node. Node is the computer to the network. It's the point where the curve crosses itself, or the branch of the curve crosses another branch, or distant relatives, right? Where one branch crosses another branch of the same curve, right? The two branches of the same tree meet. Joint swelling, incrustation upon bones, or rheumatitis, or gout, or syphilis, right? So it's that also an incrustation on the joint. So it's an infiltration of the joint effort. And in physics, it's the point along a wave with minimal amplitude. So when it's at its lowest. It also means intrigue or plot. The hole in the sundial with the ray of light that marks the hour and the parallels of the sun's decline or place in the ecliptic, etc. It's also the word of interest, which is KWIC, the key word in the context. The lump swelling, the knot, the tie, or the note in Danish. So node literally means note in Danish. So here we have the note, right? And here it's talking about where the part of something meets the more whole of something. So it's like the note in the tune. And what do we talk about? Aton, what's atoning or attune. And the note is the key. And I was also reading that note, I can't remember the name of the person, but someone who did a keynote speaker where they spoke out on the dark energies. But anyway, the purpose here was to bring up the keynote speaker. So the divine feminine is the Athon, the divine feminine Athon, A-T-H-O-N. The divine feminine, she's also Aton, A-T-O-N. She's the disc or the plane, the dimension. She is the tune. The masculine is the node, the note in the tune, or the keynote speaker, right? The feminine is the key of life, but the masculine is the keynote speaker, the speaker of the house. So very interesting the way this was coming up. The orbital plane is the flat disc-shaped space that connects the center of the object being orbited with the center of the orbiting objects. The divine masculine, the sun, and the planets, the divine feminine, the plane of existence that connects them. On the same plane, note this, they don't run into each other, right? The reason why the planets don't crush into each other is because they're all in the same plane of existence. So in order to come into contact with someone from your own lineage, you have to jump dimensions in order to jump back again. It was very cool, and this is the quantum leap. In order to connect with someone of your own religion or own family line, you need to quantum leap out of the same plane and then quantum leap back in again, which is what they were talking about. Who was talking about this? I don't know if it was Magenta's website or Jen McCarty's website, where their guest speaker talked about how the dark, the 7 levels of light above, the 7 levels of dark below in the tunnels, and that the really evils of the earth want to become as evil as possible, because the more evil they are, the fewer there are of them, which means the more likely they are to reincarnate back into the same families. They don't have to learn over again. Their family will take them right in because they know who they are. So they can go back into their evil ways. They don't have to change. So it's very interesting how this was coming up. I was also looking at a map, and I was getting a triangle between France, Carthage in Africa, and the Roman Empire, and the Atlantic Ocean west of France. And right on the edge of France is Veneti on the old maps, or Brittany, or Rennes in France. And it's actually on the west coast of France, the upper west coast near Britain. That was coming up. So France to Carthage to the Roman Empire, there's a triangle there for some reason. And the intersection between the plane and the cone from enwikipedia.org. The sections of the cone. So, if you took a cone and you took a planer and cut it in multiple sections, the intersection here, the electrons revolve around the nucleus of the atom. The quantum is the quantum between, right? The quantum leap is between electrons, the space between where there's no connection, right? That we can't see the connection. The quantum is between the plane is the plane of existence, or the disk, the feminine, at 111. So I drew a picture of the solar system, with the sun in the middle, just referencing the feminine energy as the disk, the masculine energy as the planets and the sun, the spheres. So the atom or the solar system, and the music of the spheres. So again, it's the tone and the note, right? The keynote speaker in the music of the spheres, the planets circling around in the disk, which is the divine feminine. The divine feminine is the aethon, the light, the aton, the disk, the plane, the dimension, the tune, the field, the ankh that lifts up. The divine masculine is the sound, the hammer, the sphere, the planet, the alignment, the node, the note in the tune, the keynote speaker, the mouth. The apple of my eye is the feminine. She is the apple of his eye because she is the dust in the wind, the dust that whips up around the cyclone in the toroidal field. And he is the ankh with the upside down Y in the road. The feminine is the upright T in the road. The masculine ankh holds down the fort. The feminine ankh lifts up. He grounds. They're the two gatekeepers, the keys, as I've been saying all along. He is the mouth. He is the keynote speaker. That is the masculine's key. The feminine's key is her ability to create a human being. So also in Hebrew, right? Hebrew was where we got the aethon and H amor, which is the two asses, right? The male ass is the hammer, and the feminine ass is the aethon. But it's also written H-amor, which, H, capital H for me, is the lap dance of the masculine and feminine fitting perfectly together. And the amor, we were just talking about the amor of the ring finger, the line of the vein up to the heart. And of course, the two asses are just two stubborn asses, the masculine and the feminine. And the vena amoris, the fourth finger vein to the heart, or the ring finger, the ring around the rosy, the pocket full of posy. Ashes, ashes, we all fall down. All right, so this connects to something else I'm about to tell you, all right? Ashes, ashes, we all fall down. The blue eye of the sun, or the blue stones, the palms, right? Because the the palm is the apple in French, equals OPOM, the sun ball, but I was getting ball, BAAL. The apples are referencing ball because they're red, not blue. The blue, remember, is the blue apple or blue rose was the alchemical symbol for the impossible, right? It cannot be. Because they are not apples. Apples are red. The grapes are blue, and the apple is red. And notice they are primary colors, blue and red. The grapes are the core or the pits inside. The apple is the field of the toroidal, right? The grapes are the core, the apples are the field. And then I was getting the yellow, the third primary color of the sun, mediating factor that holds it all together. Or in other words, the Jesus and Mary Magdalene buttercup yellow. The blue royals versus the red coats, the red and whites. And the War of the Roses. From enwikipedia.org, the 100 Years' War against France. A captured noble could ransom himself for a large sum, but in the War of the Roses from 1455 to 1487, a captured noble who belonged to a defeated faction had a high chance of being executed as a traitor. 42 captured, and here I was wondering why the time 42 came up earlier, and here's 42 captured knights were executed in the Battle of Towton, and that was 1461. 61's the year of my birth, not 1400. Thank you, I'm not that old. And then a series of English civil wars happened, all competing for the throne, between two rival branches of the royal house. Not the royal house, but two rival branches of another royal house of Plantagenet. It was cracking me up because the way it breaks down is plant, age, and net. So plant has to do with planting things, right? Like a microphone, a plant. It also can break down as plan, tag, EN, which for me is code Jesus, and then ET, which are the extraterrestrials. Plan to tag the Jesus and the extraterrestrials, or plant the age and then net them, catch them, right? A plant in order to catch. The net is like the grid. It's like the spider web. So these are two lineages from the same royal house of this. Plantagenet, I'm not sure it's pronounced, were the House of Lancaster, who were the red rose, and the House of York, the white rose. And then Edward I Yorkist was King Edward IV in 1461. But the event of the wars literally eliminated all the male lines from both families, and this is how the dark would get in. Again, the Khazarians, right? Yeah. So we're talking about the Khazarians, okay? So they get the two structures from the same family to fight against each other, and then they clear the way for them. They don't have to do a thing. So in this second read, we go back to the code line here, which is all about adventure. And see with your eyes, see with your emotions, or the water, the ocean water, the deep blue sea, and the sea of the Christ vibration, the Christ unity consciousness, and the I am presence of the emperor moving to peace as the moral man in his destiny of adventure. To see the four lovers of the blind man, the orphan, the moral man with a high vibrational destiny. The sea of the Christ consciousness, where C is for lovers. So instead of Virginia is for lovers, unity consciousness is for lovers of the blind and orphans, the moral man in their adventure. And then Sea Isle and Avalon is for lovers. We're both coming up because they're both beaches in New Jersey, which Sea Isle was just coming up as I was writing C is for lovers, and then Avalon comes up anyway because that's the Garden of Eden, right? So they both came up as for lovers. So unity consciousness is for lovers, and Sea Isle and Avalon were coming up as for lovers. The Five of Wands reversed in this read, with the Page of Pentacles upright, the Nine of Wands reversed, the Strength card and the Shadow card reversed underneath the Five of Wands reversed. In a losing battle after the Page of Pentacles surrenders, weak from the chaos and detoxing the shadow, or doing shadow work. Ending the conflict of the Page of Pentacles and the Knight of Cups. Extend an invitation or opportunity or friendship or love to Scorpio reversed, or to the fall of Jack and Jill. Resisting the inevitable in the aftermath of sudden events or epiphanies. Dumping the emotional attachments. The Magician, Queen of Cups reversed, releases or is released by the Empress and the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Cups reversed is over the Page of Pentacles, looking at every angle, researching, investigating. Release, and the Empress upright is over the Knight of Cups, their offer to the Queen of Wands, over the collapse, leading the resistance. Or the Page of Pentacles and the Knight of Cups are about to collapse, collide, merge, or converge with the Empress and the Queen of Wands. The wounded warrior surrenders to end the conflict, the competition, with an announcement, a final judgment, or wake-up call to or about Scrooge or hoarding. The King of Cups, guilt, exposed, the injustice of a secret out, or Libra reversed and Pisces reversed, or High Priestess reversed. Or the Knight of Pentacles is paid off, the wounded warrior reversed, going to throw the fight, called out Scrooge, or Aquarius holding on tightly, or hoarding, or hiding behind the King of Cups, their guilt now exposed. Or the King of Cups shamed by Leo upright, Libra reversed, Pisces reversed, or vice versa. Or Judge paid off, was exposed. Or fake psychic, or Viking princess and injustice, or Libra take a fall after exposed by the King of Cups, or unconditional love. Taurus and Scorpio reversed, Virgo and Gemini and Aquarius, Leo, Libra reversed, and Pisces reversed. Riding bareback, or child on white horse, or what's he called, the Da Vinci Code man, spread out with their arms up and their legs down. I was getting the image of that. The Judge, or Libra, stepping down or retiring, and the child excited about it, but not the Viking princess. The Knight of Pentacles upright is out being seen, or out with an offer, as Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo, or institution, religion, establishment, or marriage, or societal norms backing them, with a secret out, or a need to use their intuition, with loss of hope, or Taurus's secret out about depression, or Taurus upright and Pisces reversed and Aquarius reversed, receives help or an offer at 251, which is the High Priestess and the King of Swords. True love comes up for the masculine here in the underlying energy, and beneath it was worth waiting for. Again, this is a romance of a lifetime. Or religion is shaming someone with alternative belief systems. The Queen of Wands upright and the Knight of Pentacles upright. The Queen of Wands is coming up shopping. The Knight of Pentacles upright offering something healthy instead. The Page of Pentacles is hurting themselves. No longer at the gate or crossroads being shown what to do. No more sweet tweets or treats. No more casual flirtation or casual sex. That's all over at 253, which is the High Priestess and the Knight of Swords, Messenger of Truth. Scissors, magnet, coin, and drinking to control someone. Codependent relations or addictions now seen in a child, being passed down from a parent. The Queen of Wands with the Page of Pentacles and Knight of Pentacles, which can be two kids, drinking, cutting, or doing spell work, or a coven perhaps. Obviously that's not going to be for everyone, but that's definitely coming up. Or a child burning themselves, self-sabotage, or unworthiness. No more straddling the fence. Seeing kids affected by their indecision or codependencies, it's time to get off the fence and allow others to suffer the consequences of their own actions. The Knight of Pentacles is trying to get the Page of Pentacles to accept healthy alternatives. The Queen of Wands is undressing for a man or in her own world shopping, oblivious to the Page of Pentacles issues. Nature comes up as 74, and beneath that is change, which is the number 5, the Hierophant energies, or freedom or change. Sharing or settling out of view, the King of Cups upright is tempted by the Holy Grail, dumping emotional attachments and withholding in their knowing until more information becomes available, or until clarity about COVID or the state of emergency, or breakdown, break up, break through, or break in, or just stuck and blocked with crossed fingers. while this little scoundrel doesn't catch wind before it's time. Like someone's crossing their fingers, hoping the little scoundrel doesn't catch wind before it's time to come out. Both Cancer or Scorpio, female and little scoundrel, both looking in the same direction, being blocked for a reason, because there's no fire there, as Mars is going retrograde, I think, on the 10th. Chariot reversed in chaos, a losing battle, a need to use their intuition with loss of hope, post-battle and post-war, both. A need to heal, use their intuition to apologize or confess their depression and their true love and nature or naturally. The Cancer reversed on the warpath, and chaos exacerbates the Pisces reversed and Aquarius reversed, who need to end the war or apologize or deal with post-traumatic stress disorder or looting or stealing that's been going on, and healing naturally or using nature to heal. In the recent past is the Indigo upright, drawing their sword in split, divide, and conquer, lies and needing to get to the truth or dealing with a lot of BS, the messenger of truth rushing back to investigate a fight, impatient tantrum, energized or fueled by kids or Leo or sunshine, and the injustice or Libra reversed, moving, visiting, or ending a marriage, an Indigo child proposing, but not if Sag reversed or Leo upright or Libra reversed have anything to do with it and have their way, or Gemini upright versus Libra reversed, and the foundation or the root is the Nine of Swords reversed, dumping a load, a burden, a responsibility, or confessing to receive love from the King of Swords, where the Fool is free to leap away from their powerlessness, their dependency, or the Nine of Pentacles reversed and the Queen of Pentacles reversed at 3:18, which is the Empress and the Moon. At 3:19, the Empress and the Sun, purging to free self from burdens, powerless to offer of big love from the King of Swords with the Queen of Pentacles reversed on his mind or on his case. The central energy is Destiny upright, where now is the time. Destiny and a turn for the better, over the loss, the regret and the shame and the past, hanging out to see new perspectives, wisdom to rest when you're feeling weak, or Leo is reversed, or going through an ego death, with the divine lovers grounding 5D into Gaia, into the present moment. The challenge being the Six of Swords, peaceful journey, walking away and within, perhaps walking instead of driving, or time to self, where the kids go on vacation, school, or back to their mothers. An energetic exchange, arrows of love, holding on to mementos. The Ten of Cups reversed, emotional cycle is done, or the Ten of Cups family attracting those of immoral character. Or energetic exchange, where one side is hoarding because the other side is stealing or running, and the Eight of Swords reversed, released from prison, or the Ten of Cups reversed, family, destined to leave or recover from or in exile, dumping emotional attachments to the Knight of Wands rescue, or offer of sex, creativity, growth, or new projects, inspiration, heartbreak, and separation with the Queen of Swords reversed, standing up for self in a split lie or cutting through the crap, removing their own damn sword. Now is the Ten of Swords upright, ending pain, painful end, or back pain and related treatments, recovering from overwork, no work, or whatever's not working, with the Page of Pentacles child, student, opportunity, with the Emperor and the Ten of Pentacles reversed, dysfunction, or loss, or someone's buying a new car, perhaps after an accident or car broke down, or there's a new driver, or heartbreak and separation, or disappointment about no car or no travel. Death reversed in the never-ending story, post-death or near-death experience, destined at work with the Emperor and the World, or sealed divine feminine, to end the pain. This could be the Emperor coming together with the divine feminine to end pain and work together. Scorpio reversed, Libra upright, Aries upright, Pisces upright, and Page of Pentacles, student or opportunity to recover by ending emotional attachment to what's not working. Losing patience or no longer patient, or Sagittarius reversed, and the Six of Cups, kids or soulmates, in the never-ending story of being distant, physical together but not close, or close but not together physically. Detoxing, inspired to free self in separation, social distancing, or from bad influences or third-party situation, and making an announcement, the King of Swords with the Queen of Swords reversed, while the Hermit sheds light on the juggling man, the Queen of Swords reversed, reflecting and defending split, lies, and BS at 345, again 3D45D, third eye, fourth eye, crown. Soon the King of Cups is unhappy with what he's got left after the journey at 347, the Empress and the Seven of Cups. Feeling rejected, vulnerable, shy, or spoiled and entitled, and talkative, or with the Page of Cups reversed and the Page of Swords upright, kids. One perhaps moody and the other one very talkative. Worried that he doesn't have enough for them or for college unless they get offered help or scholarship or no contest. Or Page of Cups reversed, stops resisting and lives up to their potential. He sees himself as the Four of Pentacles, the Divine Masculine's heart in the Batcave, starting over, the King of Wands reversed, exhausted, sick, or angry, suffering in silence or dealing with sister about imbalance, unfairness, inequity, or debt, or scam, not sharing. And the Page of Wands reversed, deception, or cancer, or frustrated up before dawn without the privilege of being able to be bored. Free yourself and new love come up for the masculine, and around him or how he is seen is the Six of Wands upright, leading the way, standing up to others for deep one-to-one connection with the King of Cups or unconditional love, the Knight of Wands rushing back passionately away from the King of Pentacles reversed or away from their old ways, and the Knight of Wands over the Two of Cups connection, and the King of Pentacles reversed over the King of Cups. Perhaps the Knight of Wands is taking over for the King of Pentacles reversed so he can become the King of Cups upright, family man. The blocks the masculine needs to clear is the Page of Cups reversed, rejection wounds, or worried about Page of Cups reversed being rejected or spoiled after fight is over, and receiving clarity to withhold time, money, and effort when offering passion, creativity, or to play ball to relieve frustration. Adventure comes up, but even more so for the masculine is effort and rebirth and spiritual partnership. The Page of Wands reversed, not dating or hanging out with or flirting. With the Ten of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community dysfunction or financial issues, or not going to hang out with those type of people unless he really fantasizes about it, like it's really true for him. The Queen of Swords reversed with the King of Swords upright, with another Queen of Swords defending split, divide, lies, and a need for clarity and truth. And this actually can be referencing to multiple timelines as well. The Queen of Swords reversed surrenders without option to self to meet in the middle, or the monkey or the monk key in the middle. The Ace of Wands, big flame with the Six of Cups soulmate in the never-ending story of detox and chaos and social distancing and bad influences and announcements, wake-up calls, or the clarion call with the Hermit shedding light on it and performing, juggling, the daily, keeping their balls in the air, the Queen of Swords with a big flame, a passion, a desire, creativity, to come back down the stairs and surrender to all that is. In separation, post-war, with PTSD and looting, with the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or community or legacy, or the end of the war with them, an apology perhaps is destined as the wheel turns. Water under the bridge, and so on, and so on. 3 trumpets and 1 big light blue rock at 411, which is the Emperor and Justice. The Student or Wounded Warrior reversed with opportunity to surrender to the weakness and detox their shadow side, ending conflict, battle, competition, with the 9 of Swords reversed, suffering in silence, or perhaps a sister. In the Divine Masculine's heart, with good news and leading the way, the Indigo proposal of destiny and challenged by peaceful travels, and the King of Cups upright with the Page of Cups reversed, ending pain with the Queen of Swords reversed, flame inspired, to dump the need for an outcome of an end and surrender to all that is, even heartbreak that was destined, inevitable in order to turn in your favor. The 5 of Wands reversed, and that was at 4:15, which is the Emperor and the Devil. The 5 of Wands reversed after giving up, the indigo proposal to end chaos, or between Gemini upright, Virgo upright, and Cancer reversed. 9 of Swords, suffering in silence, destined to get to the 10 of Swords and end it. Challenged by peaceful place to be, the Divine Masculine's heart, as the King of Cups upright, leading the way through, I was just getting Machu Picchu, through the Page of Cups reversed and the Queen of Swords reversed, to the flame, the declination, or repeating the cycle or class or step. In order to learn to surrender, there need not be an ending, just forever. Lightening, split, lightening up the dark waters for clearer today's tomorrow. It is written. And that is your read. So we're going to pull one more card from the energy deck, and then we'll get going. It's already 1:35:44, which is the Magician, the Wounded Warrior, and the Mastering, Grounding, and Integrating of Love. Okay, so those cards there behind the love sign are the 10 of Cups, which was reversed because there's an ending to an emotional cycle or ending to a family or a lot of unhappiness. And then the 4 of Pentacles, they're upright because someone's keeping their cards close to their chest. And then we have the Temperance card, but that's reversed in the read as well, which is impatience, perhaps temper tantrums, or the fallen angel. And then we have the Tower reversed as well, which is avoiding the inevitable. So what's coming up for the Divine Masculine here for this read? What is our takeaway for everyone, please? Oh, there's 2 here. The bottom of the deck is the Angel of Strength, so it's very much about the 10 of Cups with the 50 and the 8 of the Strength card. So it's being strong in the midst of a lot of unhappiness and ending an emotional cycle as the underlying energy. And what's behind that? Let's see, what's behind that card is the Journey. Sorry, I have the other cards in my other hand. So there's the Journey underneath that, all right? So going across the 40 bridge, and the 2 where the High Priestess was reversed in this read too. The need to use your intuition when you go out to travel and make decisions. You have to use your intuition. Can't get stuck in your head, right? Otherwise you'll be stuck in the middle of the woods. Being strong to find emotional satisfaction. And the 2 cards that came out for you are 23, which is the King of Wands, being all tied up, right? All tied up, people manipulating. And that's the little imp, or the little, what's the word I used? The little scoundrel. There's a little scoundrel tying up the King of Wands. And then the 14, which also was reversed in carrying connections because this is falling apart. So he was reversed too. So actually both of these cards were reversed in the read. All right, so he's getting out of being all tied up and getting out of this relationship here because this was reversed too, okay? Whatever relationship where it's codependent, manipulative here is being ended. That's what's coming up. And being strong in the ending of an emotional cycle or family. That's what's coming up. All right, guys, it was a lot, so I hope you appreciate that. Make sure you drink your water, get your rest, get your joy, get your nature. I gotta take a deep breath. I'm gonna hit the bowl one more time for you. And rise and be loved, you guys. I'll talk to you soon.